Equity Mates, from our mates at Spaceship. Investing made easy.
Welcome to another episode of Equity Mates. My name is Bryce, and as you can tell, we're back from a long weekend of
you very loose start to the show today.
Very loose start to the show today. My name is Bryce, as I said, and as always, I'm joined by my equity buddy, Ren. How are you going?
I'm very good, Bryce. Very excited for this short week on AusBiz.
Yeah.
But while it may be short, we've got it jam-packed with plenty of content.
Power-packed.
Hopefully you've recovered from that interesting start and you're ready to go.
Yeah, look, the Bombers didn't play on the weekend. We had a bye. The Swans did, however, and you guys unfortunately went down to the Hawkies.
We did. So
Yes.
It will be a flat week from me this week.
Flat week from you, but I'm full of energy, ready to rock. So today we're going to be talking about three really interesting articles that have caught our attention. A lot around Renaissance Technology, a phenomenal fund manager over in the States. A bit around Harvard and MIT curating dreams, and closing out with some significant breakthrough in Alzheimer's. And then throughout the rest of the week, we've obviously got Watchlist Wednesday tomorrow, and then discussion around what is going on with the Woolworths demerger and what it means for you as an investor, because we've had plenty of questions in the Equity Mates community.
And to get everyone excited for Thursday's episode, Bryce, as a former Woolworths employee, was restricted by what he could say, but the gloves are off now.
Gloves are off. The gloves are off, and I'm looking to swing. So,
But
no.
let's put a pin in that, and let's talk about what we're talking about today. These are three articles that we featured in our Thought Starters email.
Yep.
So if people want to subscribe to that, get these articles before we talk about them on the show, head to equitymates.com/email. But the first one is about Renaissance or Renaissance?
Renaissance, yeah. Renaissance,
yeah. Technologies, which is a fund manager over in the US. Their Medallion fund is their most exclusive of funds. So exclusive that it's not open to outside capital. No matter how rich you are, you cannot put money in. Only employees can invest in it. Now, here's the crazy thing. Between 1988 and 2018, now this is before fees, and we'll get to fees in a second, $100 invested would have grown to $398.7 million. $100 to almost $400 million.
Yeah, that is staggering returns.
Yes.
Staggering returns, which is a compound growth rate, annual growth rate of 63.3% per year, which is unbelievable. And I guess to frame what they do, they're a data-driven investing company. A lot of
all those investing companies that aren't.
Well, I mean, they're high frequency. A lot of high frequency trading going on. A lot of computers. Peter Simmons is the founder. Jim?
Yeah.
Jim Simmons is one of the founders.
Could have a brother, Peter.
Could have a brother, yeah. There's a fascinating book called The Man Who Beat the Market. Man Who Beat the Market that's all about Renaissance technology. So go and check that out. But yeah, 63.3% per year.
So to give you an idea, high frequency, lots of trading. Robert Mercer, who has a whole other life that we won't touch on today, but followers of US politics are probably familiar with that name. He made his money as a portfolio manager at Renaissance. Robert Mercer has said that the Medallion Fund was only right on 50.75% of its trades.
Wow.
Just over half.
Just over half.
Yeah. But
the ones
you do that millions, tens of millions of times a year, you start to get those returns.
Wow, I guess that we just got to start throwing darts at boards and seeing what happens.
A lot of darts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I said, so before we get to the fees, the impressive thing is a lot of fund managers have incredible returns for a while, but then they get too big and their returns start to suffer. Renaissance has grown in that 1988 to 2018 period. It grew from $20 million assets under management to $10 billion assets under management.
Wow.
And it just kept powering ahead.
And they had they've only ever had 2 down years in that period of time.
Have
right?
they? No, I don't think they've ever had a down year.
Oh, at all?
At all, yeah.
Oh, wow. Even with .com?
Yeah, .com, global financial crisis, everything else, they've never had a down year.
Unbelievable. I mean, if you think about Buffett, who, has had a few 100% plus years, but also a few negative 40% return, negative 60% return, that is phenomenal to 30, 40 years have no down year.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've talked around fees. Let's talk about fees. Hedge fund managers get criticised for a 2 and 20 fee structure.
Yes.
2% management, 20% performance.
Yeah.
Renaissance charge 5 and 44.
Of their own employees.
Of their own employees.
Daylight robbery. 5 and 44%. Then this is one of the reasons why here at Equimates we have a policy of we hate fees, because over a long period of time, particularly demonstrated in this example, over a long period of time, fees add up to considerable, erosion of your profits or of your returns, which is, we said that they turn $100 into 400 million, but after fees, it's 40 million, 20 million, 20 million, 20 million. 20 million.
That hurts.
That hurts. Yeah. That's significant.
I mean, you still would be pretty happy if you turned $100 into 20 million.
Yeah, but then you look at the graph next to it that shows what it was before fees. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
So it takes that 63.3% compound annual growth rate to a scratch under 40% after fees. So still much better than anyone else really in that time period. But yeah, a big haircut.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So look, we could talk about Renaissance for a while, but I think we should move on.
Yeah. So the next one is not necessarily investing related, but something that is just mind-boggling to think about.
Could be investing related in the future.
Could be, absolutely. And that is that Harvard and MIT scientists are trying to curate your dreams. Yes, you heard that correctly. Trying to curate what you dream about.
Yeah, not your dreams as in, it's my dream to study at Harvard.
No, what you dream about.
Your dream is in the thing you spend a third of your day doing.
Yes.
Yeah. So how are they doing it?
They have created Dormio, which is an electronic device worn on your wrist, so a wearable, think Apple Watch, think Fitbit, that uses fingers and sound to encourage specific dreams.
Yeah. So they did a proof of concept study earlier this year or last year, and they prompted sleepers, users, to think of a tree. And 2/3 of users that were prompted had dreams that involved trees. And so this was a proof of concept to prove that you could use sound, smells, and different bits of technology to influence people's dreams. And so now the question is, how did they build on that?
Yeah. I mean, it's not, if you think about you may have read a book or had a discussion before going to bed or even listened to a podcast, for example. I've had plenty of instances where what I've done sort of immediately before bed that's, stimulated the brain, I've ended up having some sort of weirdly connected dream about it. So it doesn't seem too irrational that this is going to be possible.
I mean, look, you're right. But the end state of this is if they can figure out specifically how they can get you to think about things. What their end state is that users can curate their own dreams.
Yeah, that'd be epic.
So it's I want to dream about getting 100 bagger on the stock
market.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then
I want to dream about learning to invest, to be a value investor. And then would you be able to?
No, you can wake up and be a value investor.
Why not? Why not? I want to dream the perfect way to do a discount cash flow.
True.
It could be pretty powerful. I guess where the investing for this comes in is that if they do be able to do this, then all these companies with wearables, the Apples, the Samsungs, that's where they're going to start coming into this space, you would imagine.
Or the wearable makers say, that's 8 hours of prime advertising time. I'm
True.
going to programmatically sell it to advertisers to feature in your dreams.
True.
Or you create a Netflix of dreams where you can choose your dream from a pre-curated list.
Wow, the opportunities are endless. Yeah.
But look, it's all obviously very early days, but it is pretty interesting to think about some of the the ways that these scientists are trying to understand our brain and what comes out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great segue into our third article for today, or third piece of really interesting news, and that is that there is a new Alzheimer's drug that has just been given FDA approval, which is great news. The headline, though, is that it could sink Medicare.
Yeah. Now, to be clear, this is US Medicare. It's a little bit different in Australia, but the broader context of the story, I think, is still relevant.
Yeah, which is that Biogen,
Yep.
a US pharmaceutical company, have created a treatment that has, as we said, just been approved by FDA, which is pretty phenomenal because to date there's no cure,
no
treatment for
Yeah.
Alzheimer's, which we know affects millions of people around the world and has pretty devastating consequences to people's quality of life as they get older. The drug itself is $60,000.
Yeah, so this is the issue. $60,000 per patient per year.
Which is, per year.
Yeah.
Whew. Which is off limits for a lot of people who can't get access to Medicare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Medicare in America is a little bit different. It's not like available to everyone. But there's the rules in America will traditionally have been if anything's approved by the FDA, it goes on to Medicare. But there's these questions being asked about can Medicare afford it, or is this drug going to break Medicare? 6 million Americans currently have Alzheimer's. That number is expected to grow as the population gets older. This drug, if you do the numbers, you're talking excess of $100 billion a year just for this drug. And people are asking, like, can we afford it? And the good thing in the UK and Australia and a lot of other countries is that we give our government gives, I guess, our health department more leeway to negotiate with pharmaceutical companies about price. Not the case in the US. So they take the price that the pharmaceutical companies put on the sticker. But it is a trend that is emerging more and more where we're seeing these miracle breakthroughs in Alzheimer's drugs like this, or gene therapies, or novel cancer treatments, but they come with a very expensive price tag. And so the cures and the treatments are miraculous, but the distribution and how we afford them is going to become a question that is more and more relevant.
I wonder if a lot of the drugs that have previously been used to support or to try and cure or fix disease that have been less effective as perhaps new ones that are coming on will then just get phased out, and funding that just goes to these new.
I'm sure they will, but it's like, the cost of chemo compared to the cost of some of these cancer treatments, that, they're so much better, but they're so much more expensive.
Yeah, but I guess over like a 10 or 20 year period, like you nail it with one incredibly expensive.
And then what? Then you get the cost down?
Yeah.
Well, that's the idea, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. But the thing with America, though, is that not everyone's on Medicare, right?
No.
Yeah.
No. Well, and this is also a question for health insurers as well. How do you do insurance pools when the cost of a lot of these treatments is getting more and more expensive?
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why we see premiums going up every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. 3 pretty interesting articles that we're keeping our eye on. And whilst there's no sort of immediate investing, takeaway here, you can look at what's going on in biotech and pharmaceutical world at the moment. It's just constantly evolving. Plenty of opportunities there. And I mean, this wearables piece and curating dreams, it's just one of those things where tech just keeps throwing out absolute crazy haymakers.
I think the investing takeaway from this is if you can, get a job at Renaissance Technology.
Or invest in their fund somehow. That's how.
Yeah, no, they do actually, if you are interested, they do have 2 funds that are available to the public, or they're probably only available to institutional investors.
You need huge money.
Yeah, I'm sure it's $1 million minimum or something.
Yeah.
But those funds have not done nearly as well as the Medallion Fund. Turns out, I don't want to cast aspersions, but they might keep their best strategies for the employees only funds.
Yeah. That's like the lure, I guess, to get money into their external funds, but then unfortunately those external funds don't deliver as well as their Medallion. But anyway, look, if you would love more information on more on Equity Mates, head to equitymates.com. As Alex said at the start, we do send out this email every Monday, so head to equitymates.com/email to sign up to that, plus a bunch more other content that we send out. But thank you for joining us. Hope you had a great weekend, and Ren will be back tomorrow for Watchlist Wednesday.
Sounds good.
Equity Mates. From our mates at Spaceship. Investing made easy.